So, welcome to the final part of day 3 of Mindset and Inner Healing Day. I am so blessed to have so many beautiful women around us in this community. And when I say beautiful, beautiful inside out. So inspiring, so giving, so kind and generous to be here and pour our hearts out. But you are in for another final treat of the day to talk about why and how we should be stop hiding in our wounds and be more empowered. And my guests today are the authors of the Women Thrive book. Inspiring true stories of women overcoming adversity that has become a bestseller overnight since we launched it on the 28th of February. Who's got your books right in front of you? Yes, 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 yes. My beautiful authors, welcome. Please unmute your microphones. I want to hear some noise up in here. We're going to bring some energy in the room.
Hey.
Woo-woo!
Happy Wednesday.
Oh, good to see you, ladies. All right, let's kick it off. We're recording. Yes, of course we are. Oh my God. Okay. You're unmuted. For all of you in the chat, let me know where in the world you're joining us from, and let's get to know our authors today. So I'll go in kind of around the room. Yes, Saran says, I bought mine already. Amazing. And I believe it's still on a special offer of 99 cents on Kindle, and I think $4 to purchase on Amazon. This is a cost price, right? We still remain on the cost price of this book. So literally, we're not even here to make profit on the book. We are here to share our stories and help and spread the word about our authors and just the women empowerment work that we're doing. So there's no excuses. 99 cents. If you haven't purchased this book at the end by the end of this session, hey, I don't know if we can be friends.
Better get it.
Put it out there. 99 cents is not worth it, then I'm sorry, we can't be friends. All right, Coilette, over to you. I just would love a quick introduction. Where are you joining us from for those who maybe have sadly missed your session earlier this week?
I am coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia, in the US of A, and so incredibly thankful to be here with these incredible women. Oh my God, yeah, get the book. The stories are off the chain. Get the book.
You're in for a treat. I promise you're in for a treat talking with these ladies. When we had our launch day, it was just mind-blowing. We were there for 2 hours. And just after this launch day, and we had a similar panel, women reached out to me, and men were on the panel, said to me, I feel like my life has transformed. Yeah, and Saran's and Coilette's session was incredible. Angelique, over to you. Where are you joining us from? Just a little bit about yourself.
Yes, thank you so much. And yes, I saw Coilette's yesterday. Oh my gosh, absolutely inspiring. You did great. I'm Angelique Ingram. I'm tuning in from San Diego, California. I'm a holistic health practitioner and mindfulness coach. And I am so happy and grateful that I was able to come on today. I wasn't sure. I had texted Raimonda earlier. I wasn't sure because I was in bed all day yesterday with so much pain. But I'm grateful. I'm here today. And I'm so happy that you're all here. So thank you.
Yes, good. Thank you so much, Angelique. Nitu, lovely to see you. Tell us a little bit more where you're joining from and just a short introduction.
Yes. Hello, beautiful ladies. First of all, I want to say hello to Raimonda yourself and the fellow authors. It has been such a joy and pleasure to be on this journey with you. And I get so excited every time I see your faces. It's just been so wonderful. And to see everyone in the audience today, very, very exciting to have you here. I am joining from California in the United States, and I am really, really excited to learn a little bit about all of you and have a little chat today.
Yes, thank you, Nitu. Good to see you. And yeah, Nitu is also mama to 2 beautiful girls, and she has a wonderful charity that empowers girls. So we'll get to hear a little bit more about Nitu's work. She's so humble. She doesn't even tell you what she does. So we do advocating for each other. Vicky, over to you in London.
Thank you. I'm so delighted to see everybody again. It doesn't seem 2 minutes ago that we were all together with the actual book launch, but to be here somehow feels more exciting this time. I don't know why, but I'm coming from London, originally from the north of England, hence the non-London accent. And I help people to feel fabulous, being themselves in their own skin, no matter what anybody else thinks. And I'm just delighted to share the stage with everybody and get to know the audience a little bit more so that we can all feel even part of a bigger community together.
Yes, Vicky, and I am still yet to sign up to one of your Pilates classes and your mega workouts. When I met Vicky in London, and don't estimate this lady, she's got some muscles on her. She's truly living that a healthy and beautiful, fully fulfilled life. So yeah, it was wonderful to see you in London last month. Actually earlier this month, a few weeks ago. Erica, over to you. Good to see you.
Hello, I would say, I think it's evening for some of you. So good evening and good afternoon, depending on where you're at in the world. So I am Erica. I am a licensed clinical social worker and a certified Daring Way facilitator. And I'm joining you, I would normally say sunny Scottsdale, Arizona, but it is very rainy here today. So it's a little cloudy.
Amazing. Tell us just a tiny bit about what you do.
Yeah, so I work with children and adolescents mostly on really just empowering girls, especially to be their true self and find their voice. And then I also provide groups for women through the Daring Way on the same issues.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. We've got lovely Mary here. Hi, Mary. How are you? What time is it out there?
It's 7 o'clock in the morning.
The next
and I
day.
am so excited to be here with you all and starting my day with such amazing faces. I really love the authors. Sorry, I'm in Australia. I'm in New South Wales, Australia, which is why it's 7 o'clock in the morning for me. I also haven't had a coffee yet, so excited. But no, I love these ladies. I love this journey. It's been a wonderful, wonderful journey. And I'm so happy to be here with this beautiful audience to be able to share this with you. I am just so thrilled. And this is, this moment right now and the book launch a couple of weeks ago is what we've spent, 6+ months working towards. So to finally be here is just amazing.
Oh, Mary, yes. Well, I hope you're doing well. Tell us just a tiny bit about what you do, Miss. You're such an entrepreneur and I don't know, a superwoman, I would say.
Thank you. It doesn't feel like that sometimes, but I guess that's the whole point of this panel, isn't it? And that's the point of this community. So this is definitely the session for you if that's how you're feeling. But I'm a young entrepreneur. I have been in the family business since I was 8 years old, but sort of took over it completely nearly 10 years ago now, and have established Mary Grace, an international brand. And basically, I just work a lot.
Can I just say I love watching your like Tetri packs of all the beauty products that you get to do. I was like, if I was a little bit closer, I would be addicted to your products, because I know in Australia specifically, you guys have some beautiful, beautiful skincare products, but I'm keeping my eye on it. I will make an order after the summit.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Last but not least, Deepika, good to see you, my love. Multi-author, not just one book. You got more than that. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and where you're joining from.
Hello, everybody. I am Deepika Sandhu, coming to you from the San Francisco Bay Area. I am a Silicon Valley business executive turned authenticity coach, and now best-selling author. And Raimonda, I went back and counted. We actually stayed on the bestsellers list for 7 days, which is actually a really exciting piece of information. So yeah, but very excited to be here with everyone to share our stories today.
Thank you so much. And no doubt we can probably hit that bestseller status again if we get sales on the book. And that it comes down to you, ladies, to support this book, because our goal and mission is to empower and inspire women worldwide by sharing our stories of overcoming adversity. And I can just say to you, ladies, it's been 6 months, of probably more than that. We got together around the beginning of September to start our chapters. And what was one of the surprising things, that it wasn't as easy as some of us may have thought of sharing our stories, because they are personal stories of truly overcoming some adversities in our lives. And as we're talking today on Stop Hiding in Our Wounds, this topic come about from one of the behind the scenes conversations actually with some of the speakers. And we were talking about really overcoming adversities, and how when we have been through some things in our lives, sometimes it's really hard to open our wounds up and go to places that are hard to go to. And today we've been talking a lot about healing. So I want to take it to our panel, and I want you two ladies also engage and ask some questions. Stop hiding in our wounds. What does that mean to you? What bit of information or wisdom you would like to share of why women should shed some light on some of those shadow parts of ourselves and actually start working through some of those difficult situations right now. As many of you have shared some of the difficult parts of your lives and how liberating this experience was for you, specifically writing this book chapter, to actually shed some light on perhaps the pain that you've been carrying throughout. Who would like to go first? Or
I'll go.
yeah, we'll
I'll go. Because it's a subject very near and dear to my heart. I talk about this quite often in encouraging women to come out of the shadow of who they really are, because of different things that they've walked through in life and encountered. Some things that was because of decisions that they made. Other things were things that were done to them that they had no control over. And then things that were said to them or about them, and they began to shrink back and to just, kind of hide in the shadow. They didn't want to bring attention to themselves. They didn't want the scars that they were carrying within to be shown. But we as women, we have to learn to walk in our own truth of who we were created to be. We were created to be fierce and unstoppable and courageous, and all of that is actually in us. I'm dealing right now with a series on being a lioness. It's within you. It is something that was put in you at creation. And the key is that I spoke about this on Monday in my talk here, is that our esteem is not that it's low, but it's been covered up by all the things that we've walked through and all the things that we've encountered. And so now it's time to peel those layers back and allow it to rise as it was meant to be. So those wounds that you're hiding in, sometimes it comes from a place that you just kind of get comfortable in that pain because it's been there for so long and you don't really quite know how to let it go. It has become your defense mechanism. It is what causes you to be guarded, and you think you've protected your heart and your emotions because of the wounds. But it's time to be healed of them. And that's what's so important about today's topics during the summit is the healing process. It's time for you to be healed from the wounds so you can step out of the environment of the wounds so you can allow the brilliance to shine forth that is really the essence of who you are. So that was what I wanted to start off with. And then I'll let the ladies go ahead. I don't want to take up too much time.
Ooh, you can take up the time.
Love it. Love it.
Angelique, what about?
Yes. Just to that, we get stuck in, as a person who I was stuck in that scarcity as well back, so many years ago, where, we tend to hide our wounds with blame and judgment. And we sit in that dark place of self-doubt, and I was that person for a very long time. And I still have my days, right, where, excuse me, I want to just stay in bed and just, forget about all my work, everything that I've done. And, it's so easy to do that. And it takes work. It's a journey. And when we can recognize and actually face ourselves and what we bring to the table, what we're responsible for, and how we can control our reactions to our own thoughts that are keeping us back, and all of the doubt and all of the blame and judgment, and stop looking on the outside and look within. And that's scary. That's not easy to do for so many of us. And, it's part of that. We have to do that. That's part of the work of healing ourselves so that we can find that happiness, that, bring in more peace, and just, live our lives in the joy that we all want and deserve. Because, life is too short. Life is too short, and we never know if tomorrow is coming or not. It's not guaranteed, is it? So we have to really just look within and face our fears, our insecurities, get out of our comfort zones, and be the women that we know we are, that we have deep down inside, that is just itching to get out, and it's a practice, it's a journey, and it's not going to happen overnight. But finding the guidance and support is such a big deal. So that's what I wanted to add. And I really hope, and I'm just so grateful too that all of you ladies are here today, and to be a part of this discussion.
Thank you, Angelique. Thank you. Appreciate that. Nita, over to you. Would love to hear from you.
Yes, thank you so much. And, I really want to take it a little bit back, because that's really where these wounds start, is as a young brown girl whose family had immigrated to the United States. I really honestly didn't know where I stood in the world as a young girl. And boy, did I come with my own insecurities growing up, when my maternal grandparents, had favored boys over girls and gave preference to the boys over the girls. And if you didn't know, insecurities are wounds. If you didn't know, trauma are wounds. So whatever wounds that you have, just know that it's possible not only to overcome those, and if you're already overcoming them, I applaud you. For those trying to overcome them, I encourage you. But there is a world so beautiful and rewarding when we stop hiding in those wounds. And I'm going to be honest, it took me a while into really young adulthood to start realizing that I had potential, that I had value. And we don't always see ourselves as these stellar, truly exemplary people in the world. We don't realize that there's really no cookie cutter approach, that really we have whatever we have within us to truly succeed. And that's actually when I started to give myself value and overcome my wounds, is when I realized I need to embrace who I am. I need to embrace my roots, where I come from, my immigrant roots. I need to embrace who I am for what I am. And when I learned to do that, it was so magical. I mean, it was as simple as that. Embrace myself for every part of me, where I come from, and realizing that my experiences and what I already had within me, myself, was enough. And when I started to do that, I started to really propel myself to achieve those dreams, achieve those goals, achieve the aspirations that I had set out, which is what we're here today to tell you about our book, our Women Thrive, inspiring stories. These stories really are a true testament to how far we've come. And that was an aspiration of mine. And looking really deep within my roots and knowing that my family came here to America and they were able to achieve what they were able to achieve and set that foundation for me, just gave me more motivation that, hey, I can do it and I can really take it to the next level. And it really started with embracing myself. And when I did, I decided that whatever I went through as a kid and as a child, I was going to transform that into Raina Raya, which is the clothing line, empowerment clothing line that I started, named after my daughters. And we do exactly that. We find the gaps in the industry, in the clothing industry, for girls, to help them feel more empowered, to help them feel more confident and self-aware. And really, that's where, it stemmed from for me when I started to realize my potential was there was so much more to do and so much work to pay it forward to the next generation. So whatever that may be for you, whether it's a passion, whether it's something you're really, really good at, look within yourself and find that, because it's amazing when you nurture your hidden talents and what will evolve. And maybe it's a business, maybe it's a hobby, maybe it's a lifelong passion. For me, that passion has been to, fill the gaps in the clothing industry. It's been to find shorts to go with every single dress, which I couldn't do out there. So we decided to make them. So we make shorts that go with every single dress out there. So a girl can play on the playground, or a woman like me can go to work and still go to my kids' games after school, athletic games, because I have shorts on underneath my dress and I feel comfortable wherever I am. We're doing the same for girls to help them feel empowered, that just because you want to feel stylish doesn't mean that you have to compromise what you decide to choose to wear. And so, just that's what I would recommend. Just look within yourselves, look at those hidden talents, and just really embrace them. And I have this little slogan that I do with my daughters, that we do in our clothing line. It's, I love myself, I believe in myself, and I am unstoppable. And I do that every single day with my daughters, with other daughters of the world. And for us, it's just been life-changing.
Oh, thank you, Nita. Thank you so much for sharing that. So beautiful, inspiring. I love your work. It's just, it's pretty genius in what you do. Appreciate it. Vicky,
Thank you.
to hear from you. Thank you, Nita.
Yeah, that was so powerful. Thank you for sharing that, Nita, really. And it just made me, think about going back to looking at where do these wounds start. And for me, yeah, it's definitely going back to the childhood, but my way of hiding them was to try and focus on the external, to focus on looking a certain way and fitting in and being the right size and falling into that little box of, the attractive female, because somehow I thought that might make me feel better about me. But what I didn't recognize then was that it was the programming that I'd grown up with, and seeing my mum having a mental illness that was not talked about, that was embarrassing, that we just, shoved behind closed doors, and learning what we think is acceptable and what is not, and understanding the expectations of others. And you learn very, very quickly from how parents might respond to TV programs or to other people about what you should say and what you shouldn't say, and what you feel okay to talk about and what you're going to keep to yourself, because you don't want to be given a label or to be somehow different or flawed, or just, in my case, not good enough. And just being able to sit and write the chapter of the book and look back at, why I created my blast method to help people get over the issues that I did, was because I saw how many flaws that there were in the whole system of helping people with both physical and mental well-being issues. And I wanted to plug those gaps. And knowing that I was holding inside me so much frustration and anger because of the way that my mum was spoken to and how she was treated and basically talked down to. These are the powerful wounds that we've already talked about. These are the traumas that I heard and couldn't do anything about. And so I turned in on myself. And to be able to recognize that, well, I didn't. And that's the problem. I think, when we talk about stop hiding behind your wounds, sometimes we don't even know we're wounded. We just can't figure out, why are we doing what we're doing? And why are we feeling the way that we're feeling? And when we don't know, well, there must be something wrong with me then, so I better keep quiet. And so we end up in this spiral of just keeping the lid on it. It takes a leap of faith, or it takes something, a tragic event or something that really throws a curved ball in your life for you to suddenly go, stop. Let me just for a moment take a breath and take an honest, and boy, that's hard, but take a really honest look at myself and what I'm doing and how I'm feeling. And then start to question, what if I didn't hide? What if I did have a go at facing up to these things that feel scary? And I always kind of think of it like doing a bungee jump. You've got the harness on, so you need to have somebody around you who's going to support you. And you need to pick the right person who you know is going to listen to you. But just knowing that, you know, maybe there's one other person who gets how you're feeling, who's maybe been through what you've been through. And then you can kind of close your eyes and take that leap and take that bungee jump, knowing you've got that support system there. And you don't know what it's going to feel like, but it could be blooming exciting and you might want to do it again. And so that's why, you know, we want to inspire women to go, nothing is as bad as you think it is. And when you start to share and explain to other people how you're feeling and what you've been through, you'd be amazed how many people go, oh yes, me too. So stop hiding, ladies, and just let yourself have the opportunity to take that little leap of faith and stop hiding behind your wounds.
Beautiful. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful share. Just so much. And I feel like just from your wisdom, we can relate to so much from each and every one of you. And for everyone, you will have different experiences hearing other these women's stories and their shares and see how it relates to you. I do invite you to ask something in a chat because I think it's so important that we get engaged in this conversation. We've learned a lot today. We've covered a lot of topics today, but I invite you to please ask and contribute something in a chat. And even if you want to unmute yourself and ask the question or come on board and contribute something. Erica, I know you work with a lot of young girls and women as well who have gone through trauma, and also you have had your own beautiful experiences in life that you have had to overcome. Would love to hear from you.
Yeah, I got a little excited when you told us what the panel was going to be called, because that is the work that I do, right? My particular focus is on helping adolescents and children heal from these wounds, right? I get to sit in that space with them, and it's a really sacred space, and I get to hear the stories that they're not telling other people. I can tell you, like, this whole process for me personally, and just in, you know, talking to these ladies and hearing their stories, it's reconfirmed how important it is to speak up and be authentic and not be afraid to share who you are. I do a lot of work in my girls groups with empowering them and telling them, like, don't shrink, right? You have a voice, your voice is worthy to be heard. And even if you're not the loudest one in the room, or even if you're not the one that has the most to say, there's still value in who you are, and the world needs to hear that. And so again, when you said, oh, we're going to talk about, like, not hiding in these wounds, it's like, that's it. We all need to work on that. We all need to remember who we are and know that we're enough. And I always tell my clients, and even the girls I work, just your best is good enough, and you will always be enough. And so when we're talking about not hiding and allowing ourselves to show up, it's just remembering, who is my authentic self, and how do I make sure she walks in that room with me every single day?
Yes, who is my authentic self, and that she comes into the room with us. It's so easy to wear a mask. It's so easy to hide behind our expertise. It's easy because we get to pretend someone who we kind of are, but it's not truly we're not open, right? And of course, it's not every day you would tear off the mask and be like walking around and say, here are my wounds. But actually, if that doesn't let you become your authentic self and step in a room being empowered, because your wound is making you close up and put on a mask, because you're hiding in pain, because you're hiding in shame, because you're hiding in fear, that someone somehow could find out what you've been through, what you experienced, what subconsciously behind closed doors you tell yourself every single day and you struggle with. That's what's hiding in our wounds. That's what it is when we walk into the room and we're not able to be authentically ourselves because we keep hurting inside. And that I've been through, and I know every single one of you have been through that. And that is a horrible place to be when you don't speak to yourself in a kind way and you're not able to be authentically yourself. And my goal through this book, through the event, through the panel, through all the work that we do, that we can turn on that light for someone, that they don't have to hide in their wounds anymore. So the minute they step into the room, they show up so bright, so beautiful, so happy, so empowered that people can't ignore their light. They can't ignore the fact that you are shining. And it comes from an inner place. It's not just putting on a smile like wearing a mask. It's not. Because when you are empowered and you're healed, you start to attract everything. You start to attract people around you, opportunities, clients, relationships, everything into you, because you have healed through the trauma and you're not afraid to step into your shoes. You're not afraid to step into the light because you have healed. And that's why we need to stop hiding in our wounds. And I'm, Erica, sorry, you just lit that up in there. Wasn't planning on sharing that, but you just lit it out for me. So thank you. Mary, over to you.
You know, it's so true. I mean, it's very, very easy for someone to say, stop hiding in your wounds. It's so easy for an external person to say it. And even you, when you say it to yourself, I'm going to stop hiding. But how? How do I do it? What do I do? Do I have wounds? How deep are they? How many are there? It's so easy as a woman to diminish our wounds and to think that they're nothing and to ignore them and you know, separate ourselves from them or continue to hide behind them, because we are constantly trained as women to be small, to feel tiny, to feel belittled, to feel like our power is taken away, like we don't have a voice, like we don't have any right to be here. But we do. We have as much right as anyone to be here. And to confront those wounds, they don't have to be big. They don't have to be deep. They don't have to be plentiful. Sometimes it can just be a paper cut. But sometimes that paper cut can be so debilitating that you don't know how to move forward from that. And sometimes you can hide behind the lack of support system, the lack of that bungee cord, as you say, Vicky, that person to tie it for you. But when you realize that you can be that person, and that sometimes you don't need to wait for that support system, that you have everything that you need within you to start to heal those wounds, to start to patch them up, that is where your power comes from. And then you start to attract others, because your light will shine so bright that it will either repel the people who aren't part of your life, who aren't part of your path, or it will attract the ones who are the same as you, who are like-minded, who will connect with you. And when you start this process, it's intense. It doesn't matter what it is that you're processing. It's a big deal. It's like pulling the thread and watching everything unravel. Once you start to pick at one wound, all of a sudden, all these hidden wounds will start to come forward, and you'll have to start to process that. It's not an overnight thing. Sometimes you could spend your entire life working on this process, because whether your trauma is that great to you inside that it does take your entire life to go through it, or whether life just keeps throwing things at you, because it does, because it happens, because what cuts you today may not cut you tomorrow, but then something else might. You learn to start to heal and to advance that healing, to know how to work on it as things come up, so that way they don't hurt us as much. So you get out of that cycle, you get out of that pain, that victim role, and you learn to take control of your life and realize that it doesn't matter whether you're hurt or not. You deserve to be here right now. You deserve that sun shining. You deserve that happiness and that love. And even if that happiness and love comes from within you and nothing else, it doesn't matter, because that is the only happiness and love that matters. You within yourself is all you need, and you have everything you need within you. So don't be afraid to start processing. And don't think that you need to, take the whole thing. My mom's always said to me my whole life, there's only one way to eat an elephant, one bite at a time. We don't eat elephants. We're both vegetarian and vegan, but you know what I mean? You can only do it one bite at a time. You can't take on this entire thing. And my way of doing it was writing this chapter, starting to actually write out what happened to me. It started with the most generic sentence, and then I ended up doing this deep dive into all this pain that I didn't even realize I had. And when you start unpacking it, you then become more prepared to face it. So if you're not part of anything at all, it doesn't matter. You can sit down and you can just start writing. Just start writing your pain, start writing what happened, whether it's a diary, whether you're writing your own chapter. Pretend you're part of this book, because you are. Your stories are part of it. Write your own chapter towards this book. Even if no one sees it, it doesn't matter, because you see it, and that is important. And that is how you learn to stop hiding behind those wounds and start to embrace your inner warrior and start to stand tall and accept the goodness that's around you, because you can and you deserve it.
Amen.
And I didn't cry. I didn't cry, Ray. I didn't cry. I thought I was going to. I'm so proud.
I am on the verge of it. I was just going to say, Mary, you nearly made me cry. I think you're coming back to me. The one thing you don't know, when me and Mary started working together, because she was in different times, so a lot of the times she wouldn't make the group calls, so we would have one-on-one calls. And we would cry in every session, right? At the beginning of this journey, we would just cry our eyes out. And I would say to Mary, it's fine. Let's cry. Let's do it. That's what it takes. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And for what you just shared, it's just, wow, it's phenomenal. Wow. Write your own chapter. Write your own chapter, whether for this book or your own book or just for healing purposes. And you realize the magic is in the doing. I said it to you ladies when you joined this book, it's a journey. I told every speaker when they joined the speaker circle to say, look, it's a journey. And a lot of things will unravel and we will go through things, right? Life may throw things at us. And guess what? All of that happened. All of that. Me included, which I'll tell more about towards the end. Thank you. That was just beautiful. And I've seen some comments in the actually each other, you supporting each other in the comments. That was really beautiful. Let me just check who it was. It was Amber, Angelique, and C. Houston, who was sharing earlier in the chat. And I think something about Dr. Coilette's story might be resonating to touch on in just a moment. But Deepika, before we do that, we'd love to come to you.
Yeah, where to begin? The ladies have said so many beautiful things. Do you know that the root word for authenticity is author? It's not about being out there and showing yourself in every which way and blaring yourself out to the world, unless that's what you want to do. It's about knowing that you are the author of your own story. And each of these women in this book has shared their own authentic story in a very beautiful, very open and compelling way. And this is all because as you write your story, as you tell your story, you are really taking ownership of it, right? And you are allowing yourself to show up as authentically as you can in this life. And these wounds that we're healing from, that we're moving past, these are all these beautiful things that are going to unleash something more and more magical for yourself in your life. But the key is to recognize that it even is a wound, and that your wound actually matters. I did not think my wound mattered. I thought it was small. I thought it was no big deal, and other people have much bigger things that happened to them, and mine simply did not matter. It wasn't until I recognized that there are big T traumas, the big, huge stuff that we can objectively say, oh yeah, that would really impact your life in sizable ways. But there are also little T traumas, right? The things that impacted my life in significant ways, that left an imprint on my soul, that left something that I had to work through and heal through. And recognizing that whatever your wound is, it matters. It left an imprint on you for a reason, and you have to heal through it for a reason. Do not think that it's insignificant. Do not think that it doesn't matter. Do not think it's, oh, it's not as big of a deal as what happened to her or what happened to him. It happened to you. It left something on you. You are allowed to heal through that, honor through that, and recognize that it has to be part of your story and keep moving past that for yourself. And here's the thing, you may not even recognize that it's a wound, but the universe is sure going to make sure that you look yourself in the mirror and deal with that thing, because you get those nudges from within that say, Deepika, something doesn't feel right here. Deepika, you can't do this to yourself anymore. This isn't right. Deepika, you're allowed to feel better than this. Life can be more than this. And that's where my story comes from in the book, is this nudge, this intuitive sensation that kept going, that said, you can keep moving forward. You can go past this. You can get to the other side. And 5.5, 6 years later, I am firmly on the other side of my own journey. And I can't even believe anymore that that life that I led was me, that those were the choices that I make, that was the person that I was. But I recognized I had to go through that whole story to show up as my most authentic self. And it wasn't until I allowed myself to take control of being the author of my own story that I got to this place. It wasn't the story my parents wanted to tell. It wasn't the story that some guy wanted me to tell about my life. It wasn't the story my teachers wanted, or social media wanted, or Bollywood, Hollywood, everybody wanted to dictate about my life and how I should live it. It was how I wanted to live it. And I'm doing that in every step of my existence today. And when you do that, you thrive. You just thrive. And getting to that place is absolutely, totally, and completely priceless. And I don't remember who said that, but when you read this book, we're all there with you, helping you go through your journey of thriving in your own life. So we're all there with you as you read it, as you experience it, as you go through it. And it's such an honor to be here and to be talking about this fabulous book today.
Amen. Amen. That was profound. You're the author of your own story, and the root word for authenticity is author. How beautiful. We truly have the pen in our hands, in our own hands, to write our stories, and we should all feel empowered to write it and let the world know. And like Deepika said, don't think that your trauma is insignificant, that your story perhaps is insignificant, that who will want to know, who will want to hear. You've heard throughout this summit this week that, you know, there are women with all sorts of stories, with different experiences in life, and you've seen the connections and just the empowerment that happens from all of us speaking up, no matter how big or small it is. Colette, I'd love for you to pick up something. Mary says, the pen is always mightier than the sword. Yes, and there was a little discussion that was happening in the chat. Angelic started it off. It seems like it kicks it off in the chat. Overcoming trauma and rare disease 20 years ago is what opened my eyes and heart to light of intentional living. And Amber said, I think trauma can be a great motivator. You don't really have a choice. If you want to move forward, you have to confront it, right? We have to confront if we want to move forward. And I want to pick up on something that C. Houston said. Yes, and that is so true. I've logged my guilt, which again, something we talked about earlier. I've logged my guilt and shame for over 40 years of getting pregnant at 13 and having 4 children by 25 years old with no husband. Colette, I know you can speak on that.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit from your life
Just
experience.
a little bit. So I had my first child at 14 and my second child at 8 days after I turned 16. So they're only a year and 2 months apart. My son was 6 months old when I got pregnant with my daughter. And it was the first time I did anything after my son was born. So imagine the trauma of going through that was like, oh OMG. Seriously. Beyond the trauma of what I was feeling inside, imagine what everybody had to say about me around me, you know, because they had no idea what I was walking through. They had no idea what I was feeling. All they did was put all these labels on me because they had no idea. And that's what people do. They are on the outside looking in and making decisions about your life when they really don't know anything about your life. And unfortunately, we begin to take on those words and take on the trauma and the, as you said, the shame of it all, because that's what we're being told. I walked in a place of telling myself I didn't care what people thought about me if that's what they thought about me. And I thought that that was the best defense mechanism for myself at the time to protect myself. But what that did was turn me very bitter, very cold, very hard, and allowed me to encounter even more things in my life that caused even more trauma, till I got to the place of where my story opens up in the book. And it was the first time that I shared that part of my life, was writing this chapter. And this book actually is my 7th literary experience out here in the world. But this was something I had never shared. And so I shared it for ladies just like you guys that think that they're alone in getting to that place of, I just don't think I can do it anymore, getting to that place of just being tired of the trauma and everything that they have walked through and the shame of it. And for me, it was like that the shame that I said was not affecting me was still within me, having a profound effect on me, until one day, when you guys get the book, you're gonna have to read the whole story, but you'll get the book and see that it opens up with me sitting there with a handful of pills that I swallowed because I just didn't want to do it anymore. I just did not want to do it anymore. And I had 2 young children. I was in my early 20s. I had 2 young children and a mother that I was the caretaker of. And none of that seemed to focus at that time of my life. All I could think of was, I just don't want to do this anymore. Just don't want to do this anymore. And I did not have the relationship with God that I have today. But even in that moment, I said to the Lord, just take care of my babies and my mother, because I'm done. I'm just done. And I swallowed the pills, and obviously it didn't work. Here I am, 40 some years later, to share this with you ladies, because my time was not up. All right. And so had to circle back around and deal with it. But, you know, we take on so many different ways of dealing with our trauma. And as the ladies were just talking about, sometimes I think it was Mary that said, you don't even realize that you're walking in trauma. You're just dealing with everything that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis until one day you're in this place. And, you know, you can sit there and you'll think, I don't even know how I got here, but all I know is I'm here. You know, and that's why things like this, the Women Thrive Summit, to be able to surround yourself with women that literally care about your well-being. We may not know you in the flesh, but we know you in the spirit. We know you in the midst of your trauma, because each one of us have our own battles that we have walked through. And so we care that you are walking through yours and that you need to be healed in the midst of that. In the midst of that. And that's why we're here. We're here to say that healing is definitely possible. We're here to say that even though you may feel that so many things have been said about you or against you, that you are no longer worthy to go forth, or no longer worthy to shine or to step out of the shadow, we're here to say, oh, yes, you are. You are absolutely worthy, and you need to do this. You are here on purpose for a purpose. And whatever you have encountered in your past, yes, it has shaped you. And then you can't say that your past has not shaped you, but it has not defined you. So whatever anybody said about you, whatever anybody said to you, does not have to define you. You have the right to stand upright and say, you know what? All of that is encompassed in who I am. Everything that I walked through, the being given away at birth was part of my storyline. Having my children so young was part of my storyline. Doing drugs was part of my storyline. Even trying to take my life was part of my storyline. But today, at 66 years old, I am unapologetic about who I am, and I recognize and understand I have a purpose, and so do you. So do you. And so that's why it is so important that you step out of the shadow of your wounds. Yes, it happened. Yes, it was traumatic. Yes, it hurts. Yes, nobody's going to take that away from you. But yes, you can heal. And yes, you can step out of it and go forward. And that's what we want you to understand today. It does not stop you because you've walked through it. What it does is build you. I did a live this morning about the foundation that is built in your life so that you can be that strong, standing building that you are. And the stronger, the taller the building, the deeper the foundation. So all these things that you walked through was just the building of that deep foundation so that you can stand upright and tall in the truth of who you are and be unapologetic for being a unique individual, because you were created to be unique. You weren't created to fit in. You weren't created to be like everybody else. The 8 of us that put our stories in the book, each and every one of us are uniquely different. We come from different backgrounds. We have different traumas. We have different stories that we share with you. But the thread that goes through it is we're all here telling you, but we're overcomers. We walked through it. We experienced it. And I said this on Monday, there is this thing called through. And what we forget is going through had a beginning. Something started you to go through, but you go through to get to the end. There is that other side of through. And it's that other side that we're here to encourage you to get through and to get to. So yeah, just know that we hear you, we feel you, we understand you. And you may be in the midst of something right now that you don't believe that you can come out of. And we're here today to say, yes, you can, to say you are worthy of getting out of it. You are valuable. And if it's an abusive situation, girl, walk, get out, okay? Love yourself enough. And thank you. Let me say this, the abuse may be you. You may be abusing yourself in your mindset, in your thoughts, because you have told yourself how unworthy you are, how unvaluable you are, how nobody will want you because, how nobody will appreciate you because. And we're here to say, stop abusing you and don't let anybody else do it either, because you are worthy and you are valuable. And yes, this is your time to thrive. It is your time to step out. It is your time to appreciate you. We can tell you how much we appreciate you all day long, but until you appreciate you, you will stay wrapped up in that trauma. You'll stay wrapped up in that pain. So it is time to look in the mirror. I said this at the end of the book. It is time to look in the mirror and see what's looking back at you. Is it somebody you like? If it is, then hey, let's do this. And if it's somebody that you don't like, then flip the script. Flip the script so that you can become that person that you appreciate when you look in the mirror. I think that's it.
Did I tell you that Koilette was renamed her very own Oprah in the house? I think this is better. You know, it was on my vision board to have Oprah on our stage. I'm sorry, we already have her. Koilette, thank you. Thank you. This has spoke to someone's heart, spoke to someone's soul, touched very deeply, and no doubt will have transformational results. And my whole body is vibrating as you speak. That's all I can say. We got to get through. We got to get through to the other side and not be afraid to face those traumas, because on the other side is the light. And I want to take it to Angelique, because I know that for Angelique, it's not just getting through her adversity, but actually continuing to live with it and manage it. I'd love to hear from you. How do you continue to manage the adversity that you're going through, and tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, thank you, Raimonda. You know, and I'm just trying to hold back these tears that Dr. Coilet just like brought up, because it is so powerful, ladies. All of this is just, you know, it's difficult. And as Raimonda said, you know, a bit of my story through the trauma and having acquired a rare disease over 20 years ago, I overcame that, and I was able to be disease stable over the last 20 years until recently. And when Raimonda opened up this beautiful project of writing this book as a collaboration, I thought, now's my chance. Now's my chance to tell my story of what happened 20 years ago. And at the same time, I was beginning to relapse again after 20 years of having my rare disease show up once again, and not just that disease, but 2 more acquired diseases. And, you know, it was hard. It was hard, but writing this story was so important to me. And I knew that I needed to tell it, because chronic disease hits so many of us. And when we're trying to build a business, when we're trying to be a mother, a sister, you know, everything that we are, and battle through chronic illness, oh my gosh, it's a battle. It's a battle, because we don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. Yesterday, I was in bed with so much pain, and I wasn't even sure I was going to be here today with you all. But by the grace of God and the divine, I am here with so much energy and so much love for you ladies, because, you know, it's hard to get through. And, you know, my mindfulness practice throughout these 20 years, which is what brought me in to living a more intentional life 20 years ago, I started to face myself. I started to look at myself and say, right, I am the creator of my joy. I am the creator of my happiness. I am the creator of all the things that I want in my life. And it's going to be a journey to get there. And that's going to have to be setting the boundaries around myself, letting go of the people that weren't supporting me, that were holding me back. And that was a journey, because a lot of that was family. And letting go of that is not easy, you know, but over the years, you know, the people that I've had to disconnect from have come back to me and say, there is so much light in your heart. What are you doing? I feel that peace through you. You're no longer engaging. You're no longer sweating the small things anymore. And, you know, it's liberating. It is really liberating. And taking care of myself in that way. And when you start to let go and set those boundaries, release the guilt, release the hurt, the pain, you're able to really manage the chronic pain, you know, from one day to the next, from 1 hour to the next hour, you know. And I sit and I count my blessings. I count what I'm still able to do. I'm still able to sit in this chair and talk to you all, when 20 years ago, I couldn't do any of that. I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't walk. I could not move. I couldn't even brush my own hair or take a shower by myself. I needed assistance. And it is something like that can really open up and humble a soul. And I don't want that to happen to you. This is about you taking care of you now before any of that kind of thing will happen. You know, it's about preventative care and taking care of yourself and doing the things that you need to do to get there. So I know it's been really hard. It's such a hard journey, but someone said here, you know, it's a journey. It's a practice. It's a lifelong practice. And we have to put those intentions out every day when we wake up with that beautiful breath And we hold gratitude for that breath and everything around us that uplifts us, empowers us. Communities like this, the women around me, like these women here, who have continued to uplift me, empower me, be patient and understanding when sometimes we just have to stay in bed. Sometimes we just have to sit back and cry, and that's okay. That's part of our journeys, but as Colette says, it does not define us. We are better people. We are empowered and strong women, and we can step out of that, tell our stories, heal through telling our stories again, and having to go back there and relive those horrible moments that, and opening up those little wounds once again that I wasn't quite sure were still there. I had no idea that we're still there. But this helped me. This helped strengthen my soul. Once again, it was a recharge that I needed so that I can step out and help you recharge your soul and recharge your strength so that you can move through your adversities. So, chronic disease affects so many of us out there. And again, growing business, growing your personal lives, your spirituality, strengthening all of these things is still there for you, and you just really need to tap into that, continue tapping into that inner strength and find the guidance, find the support that you need to help you along the way, because it's sure not easy to go alone. You have to reach out and get out of that comfort zone and get what you need. Love yourself for it. Always, always.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Angelique. Wow, love that. So inspiring. And managing something like that on a daily basis is not an easy thing. And here's the thing, ladies, you think it's just overcoming, but sometimes it's also just managing. I am a little bit conscious of time. So if anybody wants to ask questions or anything that has come up for you, I'd love for you to share in the chat or raise your hand to share, because I think it's so important that this is a two-way conversation, that it is a discussion. Our authors are here to answer your questions. I want to know in the chat who has already got a copy or just went on to order a copy of the book. Definitely drop in a chat if you already ordered your copy. If you're thinking about grabbing your copy, don't wait, because after the summit, the price of the book will go up. Right, so this week is the final week you can get this book on complete. This is a price that is a cost price that you can grab it at. Okay, I have my copy. Good. Bought mine already. Amazing. Thank you for your support. And for those of you thinking about actually sharing your story with the world, who feeling inspired and want to write your story, you want to pick up the pen and put it down to paper and start writing your own story, Volume 2 of the Women Thrive book has just opened for applications, and we are going to start the process of writing Volume 2 book mid-April. So you've got a couple weeks to put your applications in, book yourself a call with us, and to see whether it would be a good fit for you to be part of it. We already have a few authors enrolled in this process. I'm very excited because we are doing incredible work with these authors to bring their stories to life, and it will be launching end of October later this year. So we've got 6 months to work on your story. So if you have always wanted to become an author, this might be just the opportunity you've been waiting for to write your own chapter. If you're thinking about becoming an author, this might be a beautiful way to get into becoming an author through collaborative book projects, where you get mentors, you get support. We help you write these chapters with you and have a supportive community around you so you can go on to do bigger and greater things. So I still want to make sure we get through to everyone. I just want to check, does anybody need to sign out from our speakers? I know you may have other engagements to go to. Mary, I did think of you. I want to come to you next. Then what is your take in terms of dealing with our traumas, and anything that you feel inspired to share before you leave today?
I just cannot stress enough how much you deserve to work on you, and you deserve to focus and put your energy back on you. We, Angelique is right. We're too busy trying to be a mother, a wife, a sister, a daughter, a friend, a support person for that random person down the street. We are maternal. We are inherently vulnerable to everyone else because we're always trying to be there for everyone else. But in that vulnerability, that's how we lose ourselves, and that's how we forget who we are and what we deserve. And it just, this whole process for me has just been the most enlightening thing, and just a reminder that we do deserve love, and we do deserve to focus on us. And I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again, I'll say it a million times over. You deserve it. That it's not something that you need to work towards, that you're privileged to get, that you need to earn. No, by existing on this planet, you inherently deserve love, and you deserve to give that to yourself, because when you give it to yourself, your cup is full. And when your cup is full, everyone else that adds to it will just overflow it. You'll just be overflowing with abundance and all this joy. So fill your own cup, and it doesn't matter what that journey is. All of us authors, Ray, everyone on this summit, on this panel, we're all here. All of our socials are open to you. You can reach out to us at any time. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the chapter. If you want to connect with us, if you want to share your own story, we would love to hear it. You are part of this journey with us. You are what we're doing this for. It's important that we're able to connect with you, and it's okay for you to start writing. Pick up a book, pick up an iPad, laptop, however you like to write. Just start. Don't write with purpose. Don't write thinking that you're going to connect to a specific trauma or a specific event in your life. Just write. Even if it's fiction, even if a fictional story is the only way that you can process what you've been through, and you put yourself in it as a character or a situation, it doesn't matter what you write or how you do it. Just start, and don't be afraid to face the pain. Let yourself feel it. Let yourself cry and feel the emotions, anything that comes forward, whether you laugh at yourself, you cry at yourself, it doesn't matter, because you deserve all of those emotions, and you are important, and you are validated. And that validation should come from within first and foremost, not from anyone else on this panel, not from anyone else around you. And once you experience that, every door imaginable will open to you. One at a time, all at once, it doesn't matter. Doors will open because you're ready for them to open, and you're ready to walk through them. And just remember that you deserve it. You deserve everything. And I'm so grateful to be part of this. And I'm really sorry. I have Ray, I made it almost the entire summit before apologizing, but I have to go because my staff are waiting for me, and they're kind of lost without me telling them what to do.
We can't wait for you, Mary. Just so quickly, put your plug in for your session on Friday morning or Friday evening in Australia time.
Yes. I'm on, oh shoot, I don't remember what, the very first session on Friday. So it's 8 p.m. my time, but I'm not sure what time
9
it
a.m.
is.
GMT.
Yeah, cool. 9 a.m. GMT. You get to spend an hour with me and have a chat and fun and lots of joy. And I'm very excited. It'd be the best way to spend a Friday night, because this is how I like spending my Friday nights. So come join me. I'm excited.
Thank you, Mary. Love you lots. So to let you sign out, and we don't have a sorry job for you today, because totally deserve everything.
Thank you. Plus, I made it. So just real quick, I was one of those apologetically me women. I apologized for everything. I apologized for my existence, for everything I said. Didn't matter what it was. And Ray got to a point where she would cut me off when I would say it and not let me apologize. And then I would apologize more for apologizing. It was this vicious cycle. But it's taken 7 months, and I've gotten to the point where I've actively refrained from apologizing, because I haven't done anything wrong, and either have you, and we shouldn't apologize for existing. And that actually for me has been one of the biggest growth moments of this entire journey, that I am not apologizing for my existence. And none of us should. We should be unapologetically ourselves. And with that, I'm out. Love you, ladies. Thank
Love
you so much.
you.
Bye.
Bye, Mary. Bye. Oh, she just makes me happy. And I'm so glad she's not apologizing for her existence because she's wonderful. I want to head over to Nita because I do know that Nita also has to sign out for a meeting to go to. So, Nita, I'd love to hear from you.
Yes, thank you. And I just want to say this was so inspiring to be in this today and to hear in the chat from the audience members as well. I just want to leave everyone with, put that energy out there into the universe, put those thoughts out there in that universe that you are going to conquer your wounds, because that's truly where it starts. And stay dedicated to yourself, believe in yourself, and just watch how the universe is going to conspire to really help you overcome whatever it is in your life that you are going through. But you will be a force to be reckoned with. And you are only defined by how you choose to be defined, not by anyone else, not by any pedigree, not by any status in life. It's truly only by how you choose to be defined. So go out there, show the world how you want to be defined and allow those wounds to wash away because only you can. And I encourage you to really read the book. I myself was amazed, and it was part of the process. But when I actually went through and read all those stories and chapters, I can't tell you how inspired I was by reading the chapters of the other women the fellow authors who've been part of this. And it will really help you kickstart your journey to take on those wounds and truly thrive like the woman you are and the woman that you deserve to thrive like.
Oh, I'm celebrating you, Nita. Those were beautiful and powerful words. And I'm just so grateful to have you in this space and doing your mission work and stepping into your power also unapologetically. I appreciate you and honor you, Nita. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm so sorry that I have to log off. I have a meeting and I'm actually prepping for a large event for a school district that I do every year as just a way to give back to students who are not as fortunate. So I have 2 days before the big event and we are sold out this year. So I have a lot of work to do, but I really appreciate you all, Raimonda. You have just been absolutely amazing and just such an incredible asset in my life. I'm so blessed and fortunate to have met you along with the fellow authors. I could literally spend an hour just saying only absolutely wonderful things about all of you. It's just been such an honor and I wish you just a blessed day and I can't wait for us to reconvene.
I love you. Well, we are going to kind of reconvene in April because what you get to do is hear our authors read their chapters. We're going to be going on bi-weekly events and you will find out a little bit more about that after the summit in April. So you'll get to hear and hang out with each of our authors later on next month. Thank you, Nita. We love you lots and good luck with your event.
Okay. Take care. Bye.
Bye for now. We are headed to Deepika, and I know we were just thinning out, which is fine. And if any of you ladies need to jump off, do let me know in the chat, and we will, because I know we're running over time. And for our audience, thank you so much. I want to make sure that we get through everyone. Deepika, over to you.
I just wanted to salute you, Raimonda, for this phenomenal summit. I had the very fortunate pleasure of being part of it last year, and it was transformational in my own work that I did. And it's a beautiful platform for so many incredible voices to be heard. And the book is the same. I'm sure it is something that you will continue to do. And for those of you who are considering being a part of it, follow that inner nudge that you are getting. Do it with Raimonda. Do it in this project. I had been approached many times to be part of co-authored books, collaborative book projects, and I said no every time until Raimonda came up with her book project. And then I was a hell yes, all in. And I think I was the first one in. And the reason for that is Raimonda does an incredible job of creating these epic platforms for women to share their stories. And she inspires me by being able to be part of this community, but the opportunity to inspire others through this platform, through this opportunity, has been life-changing for me and for what I do in my business. So if any of you are considering it, run, don't walk, follow that nudge. Your stories are meant to be told. They are meant to be heard so that they can create this exact impact that you may be feeling for other people. So Raimonda, kudos to you, salute to you for all that you do. It has been my profound honor to be part of your orbit for the last year and a half or so. And thank you so much for that.
Oh, thank you, Deepika. It's been a pleasure. And when you came, you're like, I'm going to spearhead this project. And you literally, asked all the difficult questions, like the quality of this book. I was like, I'm so glad we've got women like that who come in and literally help me spearhead this project. And as I said, you had many opportunities to do this, but it was a full body yes. And that's the only way I want anyone to be involved in anything, when it's full body yes, because that's me. That's how I do things. You've seen my commitment for the last 6 months to both the book and the summit. It's like everything. We go all in. We go like lionesses at it, right?
Yes.
Women on a mission. Deepika, thank you so much for being in this space and your beautiful, kind words. I look forward to seeing you on your chapter reading in April.
Thank you.
To make sure you connect with everyone, of course, everyone's details are on the book page. So you are very welcome to connect, reach out to everyone. And for those of you who have upgraded your tickets to the VIP ticket on the summit, you actually get to access all of our authors as well and their diaries. So if you have felt inspired, motivated by someone today, you can check out their bios, their profiles on the summit page. And if you have upgraded your tickets for the $297 ticket, then you get access to everyone's diaries, and you possibly can have a one-on-one coaching session. These are not just discovery calls, these are actual coaching sessions with these incredible women. And I'm so proud to have you all in my orbit and in this community to support everyone. Thank you, ladies. We will have a few more words, and if anyone has to sign up, please feel free, don't feel held. This is going to be just last few words from anyone who wants to share before we leave. And I want to head to Erica, Vicky, and then circle back to Colette if Colette still has a minute to help us close it out.
I think the only thing I kind of want to share, because everyone has said, I've been taking notes over here as everybody's talking, so I'm like, oh, I love that too. But somebody really close to me says this all the time, and it's just this: you're whole, complete, and lacking in nothing. And so if we're talking about thriving and kind of stepping up for ourselves and using our voices, I think that's the one thing I would want people to take away. No matter what you've gone through, no matter what has happened in your past, you're whole, complete, and lacking in nothing, and you're enough.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Erica. I think we're all enough, and we need to recognize the value that we bring in this world. Appreciate you so much on this journey. And it's been an honor and pleasure to just also see your own transformation stepping into your story. And you'll get to hear so much more from Erica as well during her individual chapter reading next month. Thank you. Vicky, over to you in London. No, it's getting late.
Thank you. Yes, this is way past my bedtime now. I'm one of those annoying people who's up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So for me, it's just like, how late is this? But I just wanted to, there's so many powerful things that have been shared, and just seeing the chat is testament to that. We've all been inspired by what everybody's had to share, both in writing in the book, but also in what's been said tonight. And there's a couple of things that I just want to kind of circle back to. When we're talking about, abuse that Dr. Colette brought up, sometimes we can be the most abusive to ourselves. We absolutely can. And, I've just on purpose done a masterclass recently that helps people to understand what is self-abuse, because we don't always know. We don't know what it is and what it looks like, and we certainly don't know how to change it. And I think what we need to remind ourselves is if we keep on hiding behind our wounds, something's going to come out sideways, whether it's a physical illness, whether it's an autoimmune issue, like Angelique was talking about. I have 2 autoimmune issues as well. They like to come in pairs. And managing these things is something that's a consequence of me not stepping up and saying, hey, I need help. I don't like who I'm being. I don't like how I'm living. But we need to remind ourselves as well that the body, and it's an amazing thing, is designed to heal. But we've got to do the stuff that helps it to do that. And that means we've got to stop hiding. We've got to start talking. And what has just been shared there by Erica was so powerful, because it's reminded me of one of my very first health coaches that said this sentence, and it's stuck with me for over 12 years. You don't have to be more than you are. You just have to be all that you are. And I think that that's so powerful for me still. And it's something that I hang on to every single day. When we had the book launch, I completely forgot, because there was so much going on, that 5 years ago, on the 4th of March, I had a heart attack. And that was as a consequence of me hiding behind my wounds and pretending I was fine and putting on the mask and acting as if. And now when I wake up every morning, and I do, I'm grateful every morning to go, yep, I'm still breathing, because I don't take my health for granted. And I had to turn myself around from self-loathing, and I really didn't like my dark side, but I turned into it so that I can actually learn to love myself. And every single one of you, as Mary said, has got the power to do that. You can thrive, not just survive, not struggle, not strive, but actually thrive. And if you are, as was just shared by Netu, feeling that nudge or that kind of weird washing machine spinning, should I, shouldn't I, jump on this opportunity to write my chapter with Raimonda, just do it. Follow your gut instinct. Your body knows, listen to it. You can be all that you are. Just give yourself the opportunity to stop hiding.
Wow. Be all that you are. You don't need to be more than you already are, because you're already all that you need to be. You just have to live it. Thank you, Nita. Wow, I love it. Oh, I was getting goosebumps on that one. You have to sign out. We totally understand how sleep is precious. But we will close out, if Paulette wouldn't mind closing us out with just something heartfelt and beautiful for the rest of the night.
No, it'd be my honor. And I echo every sentiment that has been said about you, because you are amazing. And the fact that you are, still standing at the end of day 3 and still 2 more days to go, we applaud you. We so applaud you. That's amazing. That's amazing. But so are you. You are just an incredible individual. I don't believe in coincidences. I serve a God that is very, very strategic in what he does. So it is not a coincidence that you ladies are here today. It was not a coincidence that Ray assembled the 8 of us, including her, to do this book. This was not a coincidence. This was orchestrated and designed specifically for a purpose. And you ladies that joined us today are part of that purpose, just so that we can sow into your lives and make it better. I have a quote, and I quote it all the time because I absolutely love it. And it ties into the fact that this is Women's History Month. And Ray does this on purpose in March because it's Women's History Month. And the quote is, history will be kind to me. I know, because I am going to write it. So ladies, you're in the midst of writing your history. And it is the history that your daughters and granddaughters and great-granddaughters and daughters that you never even heard of or imagined, but the generations to come will read your history. And so I want to encourage you today, being dedicated for healing, that you healed, that you release the trauma, that you embrace the uniqueness of who you were created to be, because it's glorious, it's beautiful, and you deserve to be honored for it. So as we close out today, we pray that everything that has transpired has been something that will encourage you to heal, to accept the beauty and the uniqueness of who you are, and that you will walk forth in the brilliance that you were created to be. You were not meant to hide in your wounds or in the shadows of who you are, but you were created to be that bright and shining light for others to see and to light the path for them to follow. So I pray that we have encouraged you to do just that. That's it, Raimonda.
Thank you. Thank you. Humbly receive every word, every speaker I have shared today. I hope all of you have enjoyed this session. What a way to close out our healing day, our mindset and healing. And I think we certainly have enjoyed this day with a lot of inner work. So I do hope you take the time to really brew these words inside, take in whatever needs to be taken in, spend the time with yourself, give yourself that self-love and honor, look in a mirror and just recognize that woman in front of you that's standing in the mirror, or that woman who has overcome so many things, the woman who has faced the fears, the shame, the guilt, the pains of her life and overcoming these traumas. And just tell her, I love you. I appreciate you. You here, you made it. Don't forget how far you have come, and you are still here, and you are here on purpose. Like many of our speakers spoke today, Dr. Colette reminded you just now that you are here on a purpose, and there is no accident that you are here on this earth, and hopefully no accident that you allowed us all to sow in to you today. So I want to close out today, no specific calls to action, just to say thank you. Thank you to my panelists, to my authors. I hope you do grab a copy of the book, because I think you'll be blown away. Like I said, if you do want to jump on a call next week onwards to discover a little bit more whether you want to be part of the book project, you're welcome to discover more information on our website page. Thank you to my team, who's been wonderful to support us and help me carry all of these sessions throughout this week. I am 21 weeks pregnant, and I try to roll around the medicine ball once in a while and take a walk between my corridors and bring tea back and forth. As many times I said, oh, I forgot a cup. Okay, I forgot a spoon. Let me go back. So I'll get my walks in that way. I'm honored and grateful for all of you. If you feel inspired by anybody's message, please DM. Like I said, it is the biggest gift that you can give to our speakers by just sending them a message to let them know how much they inspired you. If you feel like there's someone who needs to be here today or tomorrow, actually, as we continue on this Women Thrive Summit, invite them. We are celebrating Women's History Month, and this is our opportunity to write new history. Tomorrow is going to be all about business growth and marketing, so much more practical and amazing set of sessions. I will be opening up with 2 sessions tomorrow morning, which is one of them will be growing your community, and I'll be talking about raising your authority, and one of my colleagues, Christopher, will be actually talking about how to turn your content into profit, and we'll go on for the rest of the day with amazing speakers. And like I said, if you're not able to make some of these sessions, if it's not in your time zone, highly recommend you upgrading your ticket for at least the replay sessions, so you can have a lifetime replay to this summit, past year's summit, and of course Colette's sessions from last year as well, which will be life-changing for you. And if you upgrade to 297 tickets, then you will get access to all the diaries of our VIP speakers and authors that you can book one-on-one coaching calls and get so much more value with that. Thank you, my beautiful speakers. Dominique says, thank you so much for all of you to be who you are. I'm so proud to be here with you beautiful women with such a big heart. And Karen said, love this morning's session. So many amazing stories. and we captured all of your quotes, which will be shared across our social media, and all of you will receive an email this evening, this morning, wherever you are, with some meditations and some guidance for you to really embody all this mindset work and healing that we have done, because we do care about your well-being, to make sure that you continue on this healing journey and step into your light and your power. It's a pleasure and honor to be here and serve you all, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Thank you, my lovely panelists today. Love you all. Bye for now. Take care.
Bye-bye. Be blessed.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.